Good morning, one and all. Today, I am going to present on the topic gender inequality and human rights. As an introduction, I would like to explain the concept of human rights has a long history and is rooted in the struggle against injustice and exploitation. The concept of human rights has a long history and is rooted in the struggle against injustice and exploitation. Women's human rights are often violated worldwide, and addressing these violations have not always been a priority. Gender equality means equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities for men and women without their birth gender determining their treatment. Attaining equality, gender equality is fundamental objective uh, in the pursuit. Attaining equality between men and women and eliminating discrimination against women are fundamental human rights. Now, moving on to what is gender equality? Gender equality implies that women and men will become the same, but that their rights and opportunities should not depend on their gender. The ultimate goal of gender equality is to ensure equitable access to and benefit from society's resources, opportunities, and rewards for both men and women. Women's equal participation in defining societal values and strategies is important in achieving gender equality. Gender equality is a fundamental objective in the pursuits of women's human rights. 12 priority areas of action to address gender equality include poverty, education, health, violence against women, armed conflict, economy, power and decision making, institutional mechanisms, human rights, media, the environment, and the well being of the children. Moving on to the constitutional provisions in India. Indian Constitution recognizes equality of sexes and prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex. The principle of gender equality is enshrined in the Indian Constitution in its preamble, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principles. That is, in the preamble itself, it has been stated that equal rights to men and women should be there in terms of status as well as opportunity. In Article 14, it has been stated that uh, there should be equality before law to all persons, to persons, that is men and women, and here the person includes transgender also. Then in Article 15 clause 1, it has been stated that the state shall not discriminate any citizen on the grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them, and the state can make special provision in favor of women and children. Then in Article 16, equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state is given under Article 16. Then right to life has been mentioned in Article 21. Then again in Article 39, it has been stated that the state to direct its policy towards securing for men and women equally the right to adequate means of livelihood and equal pay for equal work for both men and women. Then in Article 39, capital A, that is free legal aid, in that also it has been stated that we should promote justice on the basis of equality of opportunity and to provide free legal aid by suitable legislation or scheme or in any other way to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. Likewise, in Article 42, Article 46, Article 47, and Article 51A, E, in all these provisions, it has been stated to give equality of opportunities to women. Then again, we can see the women-related social welfare legislations. In that, many acts has been given. That is Family Codes Act 1954, Special Marriage Act 1954, Hindu Marriage Act 1955, Hindu Succession Act 1956, Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956, Maternity Benefit Act 1961, Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971, Contract Labor Act 1976, Equal Remuneration Act 1976, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006. Likewise, there are women-related many social welfare legislations are there. Next, we can see the special initiatives for women. That is National Commission for Women that was created in January 1992. In that commission, the government has set up this statutory body with a specific mandate to study and monitor all matters relating to the constitutional and legal safeguards provided for women, review the existing legislation to suggest amendments wherever necessary. And next one is reservation for women in local self-government. That is 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. In that, the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act passed in 1992, the Parliament ensured one-third of the total seats for women in all elected offices in local bodies, whether in rural or in urban areas. The next one is National Plan of Action for the Girl Child, that is 1991 to 2000. The plan of action is to ensure survival, protection, and development of the girl child with the ultimate objective of building up a better future for the girl child. Then next one is National Policy for the Empowerment of Women 2001. In that, the Department of Women and Child Development in the Ministry of Human Resource Department has prepared a national policy for the empowerment of women in the year 2001. The goal of this policy is to bring about the advancement, development, and empowerment of women. Next, we can see the landmark judgments which are in favor of women. The first one is Vishaga versus State of Rajasthan. As we all know, it's a landmark judgment in the year 1997 by the Supreme Court of India. The court held that sexual harassment violates the fundamental rights under Article 14, Clause 2, 19(1)(g), and 21, Clause 4. Every profession, trade, or business shall ensure and provide safe and humane working conditions to all its employees, absence of which violates Article 21, that is, right to live with human dignity. The Supreme Court defined sexual harassment as unwelcome and uninvited sexually determined behavior, which includes physical touch or conduct, sexually colored remarks, demand or asking for sexual favors, showing pornography, or verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. The next case is relating to Indian Young Lawyers Association versus State of Kerala. In this case is popularly known as the Sabarimala case. The Ayyappa temple in Kerala was in long controversies for the provision of disallowing women for menstruating age, that is between 10 to 50 years of age, from entering into the Sabarimala temple where the Lord Ayyappa is worshipped. So, a constitutional bench of the Supreme Court abolished this practice and allowed women of all age groups to enter into the temple and worship, as everyone has the right to worship safeguarded under Article 25 and 26 of the Indian Constitution. The next case is Shairo Banu versus Union of India. In this case, is famously known as the triple talaq case, in which the inhuman practice of triple talaq, where the Muslim husband can divorce their wives just by uttering talaq thrice, was declared to be unconstitutional by a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court. And in another case, that is Gaurav Jain versus Union of India, in this case, the court ruled that education and training shall be given to the fallen women and also their children, so that they can lead a dignified life. There was a need to make amendments and curb trafficking in women. In another case, that is in Vidya Saxena versus East Delhi Municipal Corporation, it's a case in 2021, that is the right to use mother's surname. The Delhi High Court stated that a father does not have the right to dictate terms to his daughters, and each child may use their mother's name as well, as long as it is appropriate. During the hearing, the court issued the directive in response to a petition from the father of a minor girl who was seeking permission to use his name as the daughter's surname instead of her mother's name. The judge declined the plea and refused to give a direction like this, and claimed that father does not own his daughter. According to the judge, a minor girl can use her mother's surname if she wishes to do so. It was held that every child has a right to use his or her mother's surname if he or she desires. The next case is Vinita Sharma versus Rakesh Sharma, that is equal rights and property was mentioned. The Supreme Court ruled in this case that daughters have an equal claim to Hindu property in an undivided family. According to court, this right is derived from birth. Daughters also enter the corpusculary when they are born as sons do. It was a 2020 case, that is Vinita Sharma versus Rakesh Sharma. In another case, that is a case in 2021, Secretary Ministry of Defense versus Babita Punya and others. In that case, gender equality in the army was stated. In this case, the Supreme Court has paved the way for a new era of constitutional change in the Indian Army by shattering gender stereotypes. The court held that all female army officers are eligible for command responsibilities as well as for permanent commissions. In Kajal Mukesh versus State of Maharashtra, in another case that is in 2020, that is, the case is relating to right to choose the profession. The Bombay High Court in the case of Kajal Mukesh versus State of Maharashtra concluded that prostitution is not violation of Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956. According to the Act, sexual abuse or exploitation of person for commercial purpose is punishable. During the trial, the court held that an adult woman is entitled to choose her profession, setting free three sex workers who had been arrested from a women's hostel in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Now, moving on to the international laws relating to women rights, that is, the first one is United Charters 1945 and United Charters 1945. And next one is International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights 1966 and International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights 1966. The International Covenant on Economic and Social and Cultural Rights and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights have conferred compulsoriness to the legal force of the provisions of the UDHR, that is United Nations Charter 1945. Then again, in the Convention on Political Rights of 1952, in that convention, the several rights like right to vote in all elections on equal terms with men without discrimination, the eligibility of women on equal terms with men in all elected public bodies constituted under the national law without discrimination, the same rights as men on equal terms to hold any public office and to exercise all public functions established by national law without discrimination, and also to the political rights of women stated in the agreement that have been added those established by the two pacts adopted in 1996, that is International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights and International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Again, there is another important convention relating to rights of women, that is CEDAW, United Nations Convention on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. In that convention, it has been provided that there shall be equal political, economic, social, cultural and civil rights for women regardless of their marital status, and requires the states to enact national legislation banning discrimination. It permits states to take temporary special measures to accelerate the achievement of equality in practice between men and women, and to take actions to modify social and cultural patterns that perpetuate discriminations. State practice agrees that contracts and other private instruments that restrict the legal capacity of women shall be deemed null and void. The convention also addresses the need for equal access to justice. Then moving on to the suggestions. There should be improvement in the women's economic capacities, strengthen and expand training and sensitization programs, effective use of media to build public awareness, addressing violence against women through education, and all efforts should begin from our home, where we must empower the female members of our family by providing them equal opportunities of education, health, nutrition, and decision-making without any discrimination. Moving on to the conclusion, women can be powerful actors of peace, security, and prosperity if their rights are well protected. Investing in women's leadership is smart security as well as smart development. Ministry of Women and Child Development has launched public education on laws concerning women. Involvement of civil society groups, women groups, education institutions, and judicial activism can strengthen these efforts. If we want to bring about women empowerment in the true sense, there is a crying need for the elimination of the male superiority and patriarchal mindset. And above all women need to be given equal opportunities for education and employment without any sense of discrimination. Unless there is attitudinal change in the society towards women, merely arming them with legal and constitutional rights will be simply inadequate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative research work you have done. Thank you so much.